Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to the Slowest WAAAGH, where we are playing Tzeentch. It's turn 44, and we got some interesting stuff going on this turn. We are done with Alteration 6, heading up to Alt 8. We've done some side searching. We found a stone circle in Palia that gives us access to Woodhinge Druids and +1 Nature Gem, which is interesting, but not like a big deal. Nice to have the Nature Gem. Gnome Lore finds for us in Sulfuria and Ironcliff, which we always want more earth, and gem deposits, which is pretty fucking nice. Happy about that. Another Gnome Lore finds a mud field, so another earth this turn. Pretty good. Apsu, Rainbow, Auspex, Apsu, nothing. Get a couple more Blood Slaves this turn, and we get to actually watch some of the fights that are happening between Nehekhara and Naggarond, which is neat. So we got a modestly sized Nehekharan force here. We've got some of these Necropolis Knights, which I think the models are just so fucking cool on. They're an interesting unit, pretty high defense unit. They've got this Tomb Spear. They've got, you know, basic undead stats and everything like that on the Necropolis Knight. And then this Necro Serpent is quite neat. A little bit better HP, kind of, you know, mixed defensive statistics and everything like that. They've got fangs that do a paralyzing poison, which is kind of neat. Fatigue damage, and then they've got a magic tail. Which, unfortunately, they're too big to fit each square, so they don't have that much going on from an attack stance. He's got a bunch of archers. He's got some Ushabti, which are fucking super cool. God, I love Ushabti. So he's got some of these Hawk Ushabti, which have the bow of however the fuck you say that, which is extremely high range, very high precision, very high damage for a fucking bow. These guys are very cool. Scary. But he's got a lot of the Guardians of Petra here, which are the Sacred units. So this is a decent little fighting force. Not a lot of mages here, though. But he's up against nothing! So that's unfortunate. We're not really going to see much of anything. It's just going to be a bunch of arrows and then snakes. So, easy peasy lemon squeezy there. Get to see Naggarond attacking Nehekhara in a fort. So, decently sized mixed army of Naggarond. Got some of the Daemonettes out here that have a bunch of different shit going on with them, right? So they've got all one. They've got some invulnerability, so they're not actually, like, dying to the most basic of grunts. But they've got these two armor-piercing wicked claws that are the real feature. Kind of like harkening back to the Witch Elves and how they work of not being very tanky, but being pretty blendery. So, he's got some mercs out here in front, along with some bleak swords, some Ictiids, some archers, some Blackheart Corsairs, executioners, just a whole bunch of shit all over the place. Even the fucking foul spawn mercenary group over here. So, bunch going on against not a massive force, but enough of a force that might be able to do something. So he's got some chariots back here. And he's got a couple of mages. Notably, this Lich Priest, I think, is the Lich High Priest. Biggest thing. And he's got another Lich High Priest. So he's got some Necro or some Tomb Scorpions. Along with the Necropolis Knights here. And some more of the Hawk Ushabtis. Oh, he's also got another one. Oh, he's got 2 hawks and 2 jackals. All right, interesting, cool. The jackals are really quite superb if you can give them additional buffs. They're fantastic. Talk about blenders. The Tomb Scorpions are quite neat because they are sacred and they are pretty killy. They're size 6. So it's only 3 attacks per square, but they're still pretty killy. This is without any buffs or anything like that, right? Like, so that's pretty killy. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Let's watch it from a high-level overview, and then we will zoom in when shit gets interesting. Shots fired immediately. Got a Power of the Spears going out. We got a bunch of banishments because, you know, you're facing the undead, so that's definitely what's going to happen. Bunch of ashes to ashes, bunch of solar rays. Got some horde of skeletons coming out in the back. I wonder if Nagaron has anything to do to get through the gate, or if they're just hoping ashes to ashes spam is going to be enough. We've got a bunch of these Kepra scorpions coming out from Nehekara, which is interesting. And I will say, a lot of people get stuck in the gates because of, like, attack density, but with, like, Witch Elves and Daemonettes and things like that, there's a fair number of attacks coming out of these squares. And then the Ashes to Ashes are... He brought enough Witch Elves. Witch Elves being H2, or, sorry, not Witch Elves, Death Hags being H2. He brought enough Death Hags to just Ashes to Ashes spam his way through this, didn't he? That looks like that is the main focus of what's going on. No crazy combat tricks or anything like that. Just enough priests to deal with the undead. And the Hawk is just right up in melee, ain't he? Still taking a decent amount of time to get the fuck out of here. Or get the fuck through here. Wow, these fucking... Oh, the Tomb Scorpions are healing, right, because they have Reconstruction. It's because he took Undead Regeneration, but he also took Reconstruction. Because the Tomb Scorpions are not undead, they are inanimates. So they are benefiting from the Reconstruction. The Necropolis Knights, the Necro Serpents... Oh, they're not sacred. But the Tomb Scorpions are holding the line for such a long time because they are... slowly regenerating, not quickly regenerating, but regenerating enough. Fuck. I missed what happened in the backfield, but that's okay. Alright. Nagaron wins. Did lose 2 Death Hags, but as you can see, 115 kills on the Death Hags from Ashes to Ashes spell spam. Lost 12 Black Orc Corsairs, 21 Daemonettes. Not really a big deal. Did lose the 31 Witch Elves, which is kind of to be expected. The Witch Elves are just basically going to die every single time. Probably until until you get into, like, late game, like, full battlefield magic where you, like, Marble Army or Army of Bronze or whatever big protection buff you want to use, along with, like, Army of Mist and Regeneration and basically everything that you can to keep them alive. Until that happens, they're basically going to die every single time. Because they're pretty quick, and they automatically go berserk, so they're just immediately going to run into the fight and die. But they will kill things. Honestly, a pretty decent toll from the side of Nehekara. But Nehekara is losing a lot more important mages than Nagaron is. Even though Nagaron lost more units, not counting the province defense, right? Like the wall guys. Nagaron might have lost more, but what Nehekara is losing is more important, right? The High Priest especially are slow to recruit, pretty expensive. So yeah, good job. That is that. 4th gate's unlocked. We get 2 blues, 2 pinks, and a screamer. We need 26 more secrets. We have an unexpected event in Corbian, which is 100% tax. It's pretty good. Corbian is a 230 income province, so that's pretty nice. Unexpected event in Tzeentch, we get +5 resources, +10 income. Cool. Love to see that. And then in Tzeentch, we also get 8 water gems. We lose a scout, because of course we lose a scout. And what are we doing this turn? Honestly, not a lot. This turn's pretty chill. We got this, so we got this Earth Gnome a little while ago. We're sending him over towards Cormac. He's got to make a pit stop in Stonegrave because he can't just make it there. We've got a Sky Metal Adept that we're sending over to Cormac as well. And we're basically doing what we did last time, which is recruit a mage everywhere. So Acolyte, 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 Marauder Shaman over here. Sorcerer Lord. We're grabbing some Chosen Warriors rather than some Chosen Knights. Why did I have less? Did I spend? What did I spend on this turn? Feels like I just had less money this turn, and I feel like I should have had more money this turn. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Questionable. Definitely questionable. Did I send somebody money? I didn't send anybody money. Huh. I don't know what's up with that. That feels weird. Huh. This is only 32. Yeah, that's correct. Never mind. All right. I say that. Yeah, that's correct. It's just, it's weird seeing, you know, it's weird seeing high income and being like, damn, I don't have any money to spend. But it's just because we're at the point where we have a lot of expensive units. 70 acolytes at 396 gold a month is pretty rough, right? 220 gold for the knights, and then another 74 gold for the steeds on the, or sorry, nope, chaos steeds. Yeah, that's them. Yeah, that's them. So this combined cost is interesting, right? So yeah, we're just spending a lot of money on upkeep. So it's keeping pace, but it's only gonna go so far. Anyways, other things that we're doing this turn. I said the first turn we were probably only going to do one round of Lightless Lanterns. And then I said the second turn we were going to do a few more Lightless Lanterns. Well, this is the third turn. We're doing more Lightless Lanterns because I don't know why. It just struck me as the thing to do, so we're burning into some more Lightless Lanterns. Our research is ticking up. So we are curving pretty drastically based off of the Lightless Lantern production. We can only do this so much, really, because I don't want to have every single acolyte that we have with the Lightless Lantern. We're also continuing to make Dreamstones and things like that as we get additional Glamour mages. That's going well. Other than that, we're mostly chilling and just moving things around. We are establishing a new blood hunting province in Feral Woods, so we've got our patrollers out there. We've got our first blood hunter out there. We've got more blood hunters incoming next turn. So hopefully we'll get that going pretty quickly. We are, I believe, yeah, we're sending out the next 2 Sanguine Dowsing Rods to Umpholia. And we have enough blood slaves where we're making more Sanguine Dowsing Rods for Feral Woods. And the hope is at that point, once we get the Sanguine Dowsing Rods and everything going there, we're probably going to be getting enough blood slaves every single turn to open up new blood hunting provinces pretty much whenever we have the blood mages for it, right? Still not exactly sure how deep we're going to go into blood, and whether we're going to go like crazy with it or anything like that. That might be the next stop after we do Alt 8. Just kind of depends. There are a couple things that we could do, but it really just it just depends on how good things are going there. Because even with these Sanguine Dowsing Rods on like the Acolytes, we're still only at 2 blood. So, I mean, we're getting 6 and 7, and obviously I could throw more into those provinces and you're gonna get more out of it, but then you'll also burn the provinces down very quickly. So I'm trying to avoid that. We are a Scales Nation. and I'm not focusing too hard on blood. I'm just dabbling, right? So the idea is that, you know, rather than go hard and in the next 10 turns we have like an actually massive blood econ, which we could do, and we could be pretty high in blood in the next 10 turns. Rather than do something like that, the goal is to, you know, in the next 20 turns, we've dabbled in blood and we have a decent little blood econ, and we can throw in some blood stuff here or there, right? Like that kind of concept. Maybe a few demons here or there, maybe some casts of something here or there, maybe grab like vampires or something like that, or some other type of demon. Other things that we're doing that are potentially interesting is we are starting to create some thug / super combatant gear. We've got some boots of stone and some armor of knights coming out. This is for design of the Daemon Princes. I think there are a bunch of different ways you can run the Daemon Princes. With the paths that they have, you can really make a kind of like a defense tank. You know, you're not going to hurt him kind of Daemon Prince. You can make a very protection-based Daemon Prince, though it is more difficult, and you have to rely on the right kind of gear. But I think stat-wise and path-wise, they do a pretty good job either way. Right now, what we're looking at is probably doing something like regeneration, amulet of anti-magic type stuff, probably some sort of reinvigoration footgear, so probably boots of the messenger, probably some sort or alternatively protection gear, so something like the boots of stone, right? Either or I think is fine, and then some sort of like protection based gear for their body armor, and then some sort of shield to give them. That's very generic. That's not specialized in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But I think that's going to be good enough to just kind of like noodle around in our territory for whatever we want them to do. The question is if we use them outside of territory, which is a dangerous proposition. But I think, you know, they magic phase, and it's going to be very difficult to say we attack Athel Loren, right? Are we really going to go with the concept of, okay, we're attacking Athel Loren, Daemon Princes only get to fight in these 2 territories? We definitely can, right? But, you know, there's issues with that. And then the other thing to know about Daemon Princes is, even though they are Dominion Immortal, they're 6-month Dominion Immortal. So that's sure, you will get them back, but you get them back in 6 turns. Still matters. You still would rather have that happen than lose them entirely. But I think it's a kind of concept of you shouldn't not use them outside of your dominion just because you're afraid of losing them. Especially not if we can produce one every 2 turns, right? But we want to start noodling around and throwing together gear sets for them, because again, it's that concept, the same kind of concept as with boosters. If you wait until the last second and you're like, hey, I need these specific gear pieces, you might find that you cannot achieve that goal and then you're fucked, right? So I like to set up a couple of different gear sets ahead of time and be like, okay, this is gear set we're going to use for this is gear set we're going to use for this. We might also start looking at empowering in blood, in nature or death on some of these. Maybe not nature, potentially death, because we could do like some Soul Vortex, Phoenix Pyre stuff with these Daemon Princes, which would be cool. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I think that's mostly it. I think that's the majority of the big stuff that we're kind of doing. Oh, we've got a mistletoe garland, right? Because they can't wear headgear, or they can only wear crowns and laurels, right? So mistletoe garland, just giving them luck, is a thing they don't have to cast. Yeah, that type of stuff. Anything else? I don't really think so. I think it's a pretty chill turn. Just kind of teching up, watching the world. Nothing. I don't know of any other big stuff that is happening right now, aside from Nagaron v Nehekara, and there was some Itza versus Nehekara, but I think maybe Nehekara and Itza have maybe pieced out. Maybe it's just Nehekara or Itza's just taking this. I've heard overtures of war between Khorne and Itza, but I don't know what the situation there is. So, what do we got for our secrets this turn? We've got 1, 2, 3. Got 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8, 9, 10, 11 from Trollland. 12 from Numecria. 13 from Hot Hollows, and 14 from Yellow Caves. And that's pretty good, right? Like, getting over 10 per turn is, I think, where you want to be if you want to have any chance of getting to your 8th gate by the end of the game, assuming the game, turn 70, 80, something like that, right? Because it gets successively higher each time to try to accomplish. So, anyways, I think that's probably it for the turn. Pretty chill turn, but we're taking up, working towards Alt 7, which we will not have next turn, but we will get very shortly after that. And we're gonna have to start thinking about where we're going. That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.